Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered and Functional. I'm your host, Mandy, and I'm here with the beautiful Sashi.
Hello, hello.
If you know anything about us, you guys know, you just know that we've got some opinions.
That
We
we
have
do.
some big feelings about certain things. And I thought it'd be a really great idea that we actually use an episode to kind of talk about some hot takes in the health, wellness, functional, bodybuilding, fitness space area. So, Sasha, are you ready to to let
I am
loose?
so ready. I'm so
Okay.
ready.
Okay.
Send it.
I do feel like I should say whatever, just being a responsible adult, whatever we talk about, this is not medical advice. This is literally our opinions. This is what we believe. They might be a little triggering to you. That's not our goal, but if you do feel triggered and it does like cause you to feel some type of way, I would ex kind of like ask you, maybe explore that and figure out why it makes you feel some type of way. And even if you try and see it from our perspective, you don't have to agree with it, but grow as a person. We're also open to conversations too. So if there's something you guys agree with or don't agree with, keep it respectful, but like put it in the comments. Let's have a discussion. We're open to that. Okay, I'm gonna start. It might be a little strong. This is when I feel very strongly about this, and any of my old coworkers know. I'm gonna out myself. We have like a suggestion box at the nursing facility that I work at PRN, and it's an anonymous box. So I'm totally calling myself out right now. And I actually put in this box about this hot take because I was like going crazy. And I believe that it should be illegal to spray perfume, cologne, any kind of like body mist, anything like that in public places, like locker rooms at work or at the gym or workplaces or anything. Like if you want to do it at home.
Yeah.
Is what I believe, and I think it should be illegal to do it in public. Like in some cities, it's illegal to smoke in public or like at restaurants and stuff. I feel the same way about perfumes because as someone with allergies, and when I stopped wearing these perfumes, oh my God, I realized how reactive I was to it. I know that a lot of girlies that are like, I love Chanel number 5 or I love this, they're gonna be upset, but like
But
that's
we're
my
not saying you can't use it and you can't spray it. We're just saying don't do it in public places, do it at home. Because like if it's on your body and even with that, if you're going somewhere like the gym and you do like a little spritz, whatever, that's fine. That's cool. But if you're like drowning yourself in cologne, in perfumes, and then you're going to a gym, like I've had times where I actually had to like move to another machine and like move away or come back to another machine because someone, and it's usually a guy, and he usually smells like Dior Sauvage. And I'm like, I just need
specific.
very specific. My dad used to spray that cologne all the time. And it's fine if you do like two sprays. Once you overdo it is when it's like
Mm.
terrible. But the problem isn't having some on and having a nice smell. Like, we're not saying you can't smell nice, which you would smell nice if you showered, so shower. But spraying once or twice isn't the problem. The problem is when you're like in the middle of these public places and all right, go take an actual shower and then spray yourself.
I totally agree. If you want to wear perfume, do it. That's fine. But similar to you, I've also, and I think you've seen like snapshots and stuff of my gym. It's
Yeah,
not super crowded. It's not. It's like maybe I sh could be there max. I've shared it with like 10 people. It's
that's awesome.
huge. It's yeah, it's great. But there have been times where someone will come somewhat close to me and they overdid the perfume. And I literally have to move machines because I'm like, I start sneezing. I
Gross.
like can't breathe. I'm like, now I'm congested and I can't breathe. And I'm about to do this set and I can't even like brace my core because now I have like all this like snot in my sinuses. Thank you so much. You know, perfume, Jado, Dior, whatever you're wearing. And I mean, in greater quantities, they have also proven that it is disruptive to hormones. So that's the other thing. I don't want that around me. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sorry, gentlemen. Although gentlemen too, like seriously, just shower. Please just shower. I also have a coworker. She's probably not gonna hear this. Even if she did, I don't care because I've told her this to her face before. I love her to death. She is like one of the people that came out to my bodybuilding show. She was like screaming and supporting me. We're close. She's great. I fucking love her. She likes to douse. And now that I only work very infrequently, whenever I see her, like I'm always excited. I always want to give her a hug. I had to be like, yo, I can't hug you anymore. Can I just like pat you? Because I'd pull away and I would smell like her perfume and then I'd be sneezing all day. I had to go change my scrubs. I was like, babe, I love you, but like, what are we doing? This
Yeah,
is too much.
that's too much.
Okay, that's the first one. This is an interesting one I definitely wanted to talk to you about. I believe that prep coaches or bodybuilding coaches should have to pass some sort of like state boards or some sort of like nationally recognized course about like anatomy, gut health, hormones before they can be allowed to coach people in extreme protocols like bodybuilding or even like functional.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And some might argue like, oh, I did pass a course. I got my NASM certification. I got my ISSA certification. I got this, I got that. And it's like, cool. I got my NASM certification too. And I can tell you that almost 90% of what I learned outside of that certification while actually being in like real scenarios with clients. And I'm not perfect. I'm not board certified. I don't have every single course taken and everything checked off that I want to, but as someone who is actively coaching clients through preps, like I make it an absolute priority to make sure that I'm on top of learning functional health, gut, hormones, everything, because we're talking about someone else's health in your hands. And I have seen far too many times that someone just gets off stage and they're like, I'm a prep coach now. It's like, well, first of all, you didn't do that good on stage. Second of all, you don't have any qualifications to coach someone through a prep. You didn't even do a good prep yourself or a healthy one. Third of all, it's a very different ball game experimenting on yourself versus experimenting on clients. Like, you want to experiment on yourself, you want to do whatever the heck, you want to take whatever the heck, go do it. But once it comes to someone else's health, you don't know their history, no matter how well you know them. You don't know how they respond to things. You don't know how they react to things. You don't know their body. Like, you should not be playing around with another client's health. And I have unfortunately seen so many times prep coaches absolutely destroy clients' health because they tried it on one client, it worked. So now they cookie cutter to everyone else. And they have absolutely no certification besides like a NASM or ISSA, which is great, but not enough. And they aren't continuing their education and they aren't even doing it themselves. Like they're not competing actively, they're not living that healthy lifestyle actively. So, yeah, I agree. I think coaches, specifically prep coaches, should either have to pass some sort of state board, um, qualified courses, and or show proof that they are actively continuing their education, continuing to learn. Because, I mean, yeah, it would be great for everyone to be like board certified before they become a prep coach, but then that would like, I feel like disqualify some people who are currently like myself. Like, it's like
Well,
I would be kicking myself. But at the same time, it's like if you're actively doing stuff and actively taking courses, then that's another story.
Well, this is why, yeah, that's why I think it's like such a hot take because I also fall into that. Like, okay, I'm a nurse. That's fine. I have my NASM certification. That's fine. I got other certifications. I have continued my education and made it a point. And I'm not to like humble brag, but like I have a very wide knowledge base to help the
Yeah.
clients that I help. But I also recognize like I could know more. And I always try to. And if I don't have an answer, I will always tell a client, hey, I don't know, but like I will figure it out. I will find out.
Yeah.
Like, let's shelf this. I will come back to you. And because I hold myself to that higher standard, and like you said, I've seen, we've all seen some coaches do some pretty gnarly things to people's health long term. I think we should all be held, I think we should all be held to that higher standard. And like I really don't, please don't misconstrue this, anyone listening. I'm not trying to shit on coaches because again, like Sasha and I are great coaches and we still fall under this category. There
Yeah.
are amazing professional coaches and Olympian coaches that are great at what they do and they've worked hard to learn more. And arguably some of these coaches I can confidently say no more than doctors, like medical doctors.
Yeah, same.
And that's great. But then I think that's the standard that should be held across the board when we are taking other people's health into our hands.
Yeah, like really truly making sure that you are continue, because also think about it this way. We are advancing. Like there are new workout movements coming out. There's new studies coming out on certain foods and bioavailability and certain supplements and new peptides and new this and new that. So like there we are always evolving and always improving and new information is always coming to surface. So like if you are still following what came out 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, it's like, keep up, dude. Like, you gotta keep up in this world and you gotta make sure that you're continuing to learn because I mean, I completely wholeheartedly agree with what you said. Like, and I know you are always striving to be better coaches and to know more and to learn more and to trickle down more into our clients because otherwise, you end up stagnant, your clients end up stagnant and or in an unhealthy place. And that is something that we are trying actively to avoid and we are avoiding by taking the actions that we're taking.
Mhm. That was very well said. We can only help our clients to the degree that we've helped ourselves learn more.
Yeah. And
I,
that like where I sprinkled in the whole like coaches that don't walk the walk, it's like, okay, if you competed before and now you're retired, like I know a handful of incredible coaches who like Olympian coaches and whatever that they're not competing anymore. Like they've done this thing. They've done this thing. They don't do it anymore. They're done. But they are continue like they still live this lifestyle. I have seen so many coaches who are posting, client transformations, client wins, client this, client that. But then in the same breath, it's like, oh, I've been off my game for 2 months and I haven't done this and I haven't done that. And like life happens, things happen. And thank you for being so honest and sharing, that you've had shit going on. But I don't know, there's just something about coaches that don't, and maybe this is the next hot take of one that I'm throwing in real quick, but coaches who don't walk the walk and who don't do the things that they talk about and have the same standard for themselves that they have for their clients,
mhm.
that's a problem for me. Because
Yeah.
I can't ask my client to show up the way that I want them to be showing up when I'm not showing up for myself like that. Because they are following my example, they're following my lead. So yes, I
Hmm.
can give them the best protocol. And I'm not talking about having one off day or like you get sick or like you go on vacation or something, whatever. Like we all do that. I do that. I've literally posted myself having drinks a week in a row when we were in Italy and I did not regret a single moment of it. And I told my clients, yeah, when you go on vacation and when you earn this essentially by living the lifestyle that you live 350 days out of the year, you could enjoy those 2 weeks having fun and doing the things because you get right back into it. But I'm specifically talking about the coaches that have this crazy expectation for their clients, but like they're not helping themselves. They're not doing the things. And that
Yeah.
kind of goes hand in hand and them not learning.
Right. No, I totally agree. I think the only nuance I would say are those coaches that maybe they did a show or two and they're like, I love bodybuilding prep, but like I don't love being an athlete. And they decide to coach and then they end up being great at coaching
Yeah.
instead. But like to what you said, they're still living some sort of that lifestyle. Like they're still meal prepping and they're still, getting their water and then they're still walking. I
Training
totally get
hard.
that. I've also seen coaches though, where they're like, yeah, I take prep clients or I take, lifestyle clients that want to just be really serious about their, athletic goals. And then they're putting on their stories that they're eating pizza for the fourth time that week and they're drinking beers. And it's like, and one of them, okay, I'm not going to call out specifics. one of the little like captions on the story was like, clients, do as I say, not what I do. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I would fire you so fast if that's what you
Do
were
as I
putting
say
out.
and not what I do.
And this was a few years ago and it stuck. And I was just like, that's kind of embarrassing. But
That's really embarrassing.
I was like, I digress. I will say, since then, I don't know why I didn't unfollow that individual because I really went on a spree where it's like, if I don't feel aligned with you, I'm not going to look at your stuff. I didn't unfollow them, and I will give them credit and say they've kind of done like a 180. And I will say
Okay.
they've been really accountable and whatever. We all go through dark periods, but like that one instance, like lives here rent free, and I'm like, that is never going to be my standard. That
But
is,
that's even enough, like, to be. But now, can you imagine a client who hasn't had, and I promise we'll get off this tangent in a minute, but like, can you imagine a client who hasn't had a different kind of experience or like who doesn't have this kind of knowledge that you have of like, hey, that's actually not right. And then they see a post like that where it's like, do as I say, not as I do. And then the client's just like, okay, but I see you doing it. So even if you're saying one thing, like, but you're still doing this and you look the way that you look, maybe I can do this too.
yeah, I think that's where that line about I just have good genetics comes in. That makes me crazy. I just got really lucky with good genetics, so I can do this, but don't do this, clients. And I was just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Girl, girl, go wash your face. What are you doing?
Yeah, seriously.
That was a good little topic. Thank you.
Like it.
Next hot take. I guys don't come for me on this one. I believe it though. Most hormone issues are actually lifestyle issues that you're just in denial about and don't want to fix. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not, I don't, how do I word this? I want to say it's not truly a hormone thing, but yes, it is involving hormones, but it's not that you just woke up one day and you're like, my genetics suck and I have bad hormones and they're not balanced. No, it's your lifestyle that caused this.
Yeah. I love that. And what you just said that it's not a hormone, what did you just say? That it's not a hormone thing?
Mhm.
It is a hormone thing, but it's a hormone thing because of how shitty the lifestyle is.
Yes. That's why
And
I'm
that
like,
applies to everything.
you
Just
don't have
think,
a hormone problem, you have a lifestyle problem.
yeah. No, seriously, because I think people underestimate how much hormones, gut, all of that ties into everything. And when I say everything, I'm not just talking about how your physique looks or how bloated you are or how much muscle you do or don't have. I'm talking about your hair thinning. I'm talking about how your skin looks. I'm talking about that body acne that you haven't been able to get rid of, like, or your nails constantly breaking, or you being so frustrated all the time, or the headaches that you keep having, or the, like, for me, I think one of the biggest ones has to be the acne because I still to this day like say that I do have acne prone skin because I sweat and like I'll have a pimple pop out, but I know that it's not just from that. Like my acne only flares up when I'm super stressed or like when I drink more alcohol than usual or when I eat more processed food than usual, which has not happened in a very long time. And anytime people are like, "Oh my God, what'd you do to clear your skin? What products are you using?" Like, yes, the products that I'm using are incredible to help keep any new acne from popping up, but had I been using those products but not drinking my water, not eating the foods that I'm eating, not making sure that I'm like healthy and active and doing the things, those products only do so much,
They're
right? So
band-aids.
exactly. And the same thing with supplements, right? Like you could be taking the thyroid supplement, the progesterone, the estrogen, the this, the that, the birth control, all of it to try to band-aid, but if you don't fix the actual root of the problem, which is your lifestyle, it will always come back to your lifestyle. You will never
Absolutely.
actually fix the problem. And like I unfortunately see this in clients. I see this in close people to me where they're like, "Oh, I just can't get rid of this body fat." I'm like, "No, you're just not trying hard enough. Like you just actually don't want to because you're not willing to let go of your freaking hot pockets every night. Like you're not
Mhm.
I love this one.
I feel a little bit called out and seen because I used to live on Hot Pockets. So guys,
Same, but
if
that's why I
you
said Hot Pockets.
like if
The
anyone
four
out
cheese
there,
one was my shit. Or the three cheese, four cheese, I don't remember.
yeah, there's definitely like a three cheese one, and then I would cycle between that. the ham and cheese and the pepperoni one.
The
But
pepperoni one, yeah.
I digress. If you are a Hot Pocket queen out there or a reforming one,
Sorry.
like no, this is no, we're proof. We're proof. Like
Yeah.
I would bet anything you're not eating Hot Pockets anymore. I'm
I
not
haven't
eating
had
Hot
a
Pockets.
Hot Pocket in probably 7 years.
I know. I mean, I think man.
6 years. 6 years.
in
When was
I
2018?
miss the idea of Hot Pockets, but not actually Hot Pockets, if that makes sense. Like I think I miss the nostalgia. But anyway,
Yeah.
the whole point being, if you are a queen eating Hot Pockets right now and living off of them, like there is hope. But to get to where Sasha and I are, you got to change your lifestyle. And that was something I've talked a little bit about. Eventually, we'll do an episode on it. But at 15, I was diagnosed with premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which is an endocrine, aka hormone, and a psychologic issue they kind of converge at a crossroads as more data comes out about it. But basically, they're like, yeah, you have imbalanced hormones. Like your hormones are fucked up. That's it. Slapped me on birth control. And guess what? I continued to have expressions of that PMDD all the way up until I was 26. And then I changed my lifestyle. And I have not had a PMDD episode since changing my lifestyle. So it really wasn't just hormones out of nowhere. It was my hot pocket eating, zero exercise, not drinking enough water lifestyle I'd been living that allowed the PMDD to be genetically expressed.
Yeah, and I love that you gave that example. And to piggyback off of that, I have PCOS, and and granted, this is a hormone thing, right? When my lifestyle was not the best, and this was already me being in my fitness journey, but I'm like specifically talking about like my stress management, and my cortisol was through the roof, and I would maybe skip some of my water and maybe skip a workout and do this and do that. I have never had such bad PCOS flare-ups. And like when I was younger, I literally went on birth control to help with my PCOS, with my acne, with my everything. I ended up gaining extra weight. Nothing happened, like no help with the acne. My diet was so bad. I literally ate little bites, Nutella sticks. I drank Arizona. I wouldn't drink water. I would only drink like Arizona and coffees. Ate pizza for dinner. Like it was not a great lifestyle. And yeah, I had PCOS flare-ups. And all the way until I got off the birth control, even time after that, like had to bounce back, rebound my health. I did a gut flush with you to like help me do these things. And I have not had a PCOS flare up in almost 2 years. Granted, the last one was really stress related and not like food or training related, but that is again lifestyle. I was living in a very toxic environment. I was surrounded by people who stressed me the hell out, and my body reacted in a way where I was so confused because I was checking off every single one of my boxes, but I was in such a fight or flight mode that nothing that I was doing was actually working because I was in such a high stress area and my lifestyle was so bad at the time, just in that regard, that I had the worst like I've never had a PCOS flare up that bad in my life. And since changing simply that, moving in with my fiance, he was my boyfriend at the time, changing the people that I surround myself with, who I talk to, who I don't, cutting off family, like doing all of those things, I haven't had anything similar to that in 2 years now. Literally 2 years on the dot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's nuts. Like we're not just trying to hone in on the fact that like go to the gym, drink your water. Like yes, go to the gym, drink your water, but also like how much you stress, how much you sleep, how much you pay attention to your body, like how much actual like love and grace you give yourself. Your body, what's that book? Your body keeps score. Like your body keeps score of all of the things that you do to it and all
Yeah.
of the stress you put it under. So even if you have a small issue, like not a small issue, but like if you have some sort of hormonal disbalance just from birth or whatever the case may be, it will get times 10 if your lifestyle feeds into it.
Mhm. Yeah, truly. Your habits are going to dictate the quality of your life.
Hmm.
And the cool thing about it is you can change it literally at any time. You don't have to be, 20 years old and like have a great metabolism because you're young and whatever. I didn't start my fitness journey until I was almost 30.
Which I'm
You
so
can,
proud of you. I love that for you. You aged
thank
yourself
you.
backwards though. Like you added years to your life by doing that.
Oh, truly. Oh my God. If you take, I could find a picture of me in nursing school when I'm like 20 and put it next to like me now. It's like, oh my God, who is that 50-year-old banker with 5 kids and a mortgage? Like she was so different.
Oh.
She was going through it. I was going through a lot, but to your credit, what you said, stress, that also like totally plays a part. Thank you. Yeah, I'm always trying to age backwards. I'm trying to get on that like without Botox, which I guess that could be, I'm gonna save that for a different episode because I know that's gonna be triggering. And I used to do Botox. Like, listen, I at least like kind of know what I'm talking about here. But my goal is without using Botox to age gracefully and kind of backwards, like a little, like Christy Brinkley. She and Sandra Bullock. My God, I look at
Oh,
them and
stunners.
I'm just like, oh, yes, I want that. But anyway, I digress. For this episode, I'm gonna do one more hot take, and then I think we're gonna have to do a part two because
I think so too, especially now that you brought up the Botox.
I
Because I
know,
did it once, and like, not for nothing, like when I go like this, like there's some lines, but like otherwise it's flat. But like, I don't know.
yeah, I
Sensitive.
I think from being in the OR, we are like masked, so you only have your eyes to communicate with. So there's a lot of and a lot of
Mm,
like, are they?
mm,
So I got like
get
really
'em.
bad lines. And so I would get Botox. Now, because I didn't want to inject as much, I started using that facial serum,
Oh, okay.
GHKCU,
Mm-hmm.
which, by the way, if anyone is keeping up with peptides, in July, it is up for debate to get a reversal on, I believe it is 9 peptides that they like made illegal. One of them being the injectable version of GHKCU, I believe.
I think I saw that.
So that should be reversing this summer. But anyway, the topical version is not illegal. I've been using that to kind of help with the lines, and I have seen a reduction. It doesn't act like Botox, but it does help. It boosts collagen. We'll save that for another episode, though. I think
And
the
Mandy is
last
a shameless plug for it.
I'm shamelessly going to plug for it. If you guys do want to try it out, contact Rise Wellness and let them know that I sent you by using my last name, ARIAS. I am affiliated, but you will also save 20% if you name drop me. Anyway, so our last hot take then for this episode, I'm going to try and keep it like a shorter one because we will just go off forever. I think that if you are somebody that claims that they need 15 plus supplements just to feel normal, you probably need a therapist. You probably need some mental and mindset help. I don't mean that in like a bitchy way. I swear to God. Like I've been in therapy the majority of my life, except for the last like maybe 7 years. But if you're somebody that just is like, no, I have to take this and I have to take this and I have to take this, my question to you is, why do you feel that way? Like, and I definitely think you should get your gut tested. And I
Yeah.
definitely think you should get like blood work done. But usually these individuals that have such a set mindset on I have to take these 25 things, what are we running from? Like, why is it a belief that you have?
Mm.
Like, why are we fixated on the band-aid approach? And we could even expand on that. Like, why do you think that you can't have a good workout unless you drink an Alani Nu every single time beforehand? Like, I think people, I'm being a little extreme saying I think you need a therapist, but what I really am trying to convey here is I think people need to do some self-reflection and
Yeah.
actually ask themselves, why are you the why are you the way you are?
Yeah. Why are you like this? No, I really like that in the sense of, I feel like there's like that over consumerism on certain things. Granted, if I was to count how many like vitamins I take a day, between my fish oil, magnesium, like the things that I take just to help like optimize my body and optimize my health, which I even cut down on the amount of vitamins that I take because I started making sure that I get my micronutrients from whole foods. Like I used to take potassium. Now I'm eating almost 4,000 milligrams. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
milligram. Yeah, I'm eating 4,000 milligrams of potassium a day just from food. And before I used to take a potassium supplement to like help boost that number because I was eating so little potassium that I would get the worst Charlie horses in my like calves ever. And so it's like if you're taking certain vitamins or certain supplements because you need them to feel normal. It's like, okay, well, could we change some things in your food to make sure that you're getting it in your food? And then there are certain supplements, like for example, creatine that, I love that. I stand for it. L-glutamine, I think that's great. Like that's, a great way to help your gut, help your body just overall optimize things, creatine, muscle, whatnot. But when it comes to something like, oh, I absolutely need an Alani before going to the gym because I can't work out, or like I absolutely need a pre-workout, and not for nothing, I have pre-workout before pretty much every single workout that I do besides just like fasted cardio sessions, simply because I enjoy it, I like it. I work with the company Evogen and I think that they have great products and it's great quality, but I don't need it in order to get a good workout in. It's simply an added bonus. And it tastes yummy and it's my little sweet thing and it's good and I enjoy it. But if you were to say, Sasha, don't have it for a week, I wouldn't stop training for that week. I wouldn't have a mental breakdown for that week. So I feel like when people get super stuck to certain things that they don't even know like what the benefit of it is and like if it's actually helping them. I had this with the Core Power protein shakes. I had to have one, 42-gram one every single day. If I didn't have one, I would crash out because I felt like I wouldn't hit my protein goal, and I wouldn't because I had a very hard time at that time like getting my protein in from foods. I didn't track my macros, so I knew that if I drank at least one of those a day, I would be at least 100 grams of protein because I could get in 50 grams from Whole Foods. Like that's kind of silly to not be able to do that. But I definitely agree with the statement that, there are certain things that you should be looking inward because you don't need it to feel normal. You've just created this routine, this story, this idea that without this, you can't function. And that's how you start building like some unhealthy habits. And I would say if it comes to supplements or vitamins, get your blood work done and see what you actually need. Like I was taking vitamin D every single day. When my blood work came back, my it was through the roof, like way more than I needed. And I was like, "Oh, snap, like I actually don't need to take this every single day." Like I'm kind of overdoing it and making it harder for my body to like wash out what it doesn't need.
Yeah. I guess the last thing I would wrap up with this one is I'm trying to figure out, I'm just going to say it, whatever. It's going to be a controversial episode anyway. I work with a lot of functional clients that are seeking more holistic ways to help heal something, whether it be gut, hormones, getting off birth control, Lyme, mold, whatever. So I speak with a lot of different people, and some of these clients that are coming in are on like 30 plus different supplements. And
Mm,
before we started protocol, I'm like, okay, let's stop this one, stop this one. I mean, not only are we trying to minimize the potential of adverse reactions with like interactions, of course, that's always a concern. But a lot of them, I'm like, man, you don't need to be on this. And
yeah.
sometimes they're like, oh, well, a different practitioner told me I just should take this forever. And I can't get off of it because if I get off of it, then XYZ is going to happen. So that's kind of what I'm also talking about a little bit here is you mentioned creating a storyline. So if you continue to tell yourself that you have to take something or XYZ is going to happen, your body is going to listen to that. And if you're like, I have to take magnesium citrate every day or I can't poop, well, then guess what? You're not going to poop because you're stressing your body out about not taking the mag citrate.
Yeah. Not to mention you're probably not eating enough fiber if you need to take magnesium citrate in order to go to the bathroom, but
Well,
that's a
that's a whole
conversation for
other
another.
story.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another time.
But anyway, this was a really great conversation. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Sasha. Always great conversations with you. So I really appreciate you being here and your 2 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents,
All of them.
all
All
the
of them. Thank
cents.
you for having me.
Of course, guys, if you could be so kind, if you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. Please rate 5 stars if you're listening to this on Spotify. And tune in on Sundays to Sasha's podcast, Sculpt Sessions, every Sunday. And we will catch you guys next week on Monday. Bye.